I had two dreams in my youth. One was to be an athlete, the other to be a great mime artist. I was never much good at the former, and I had to give up my dreams of the latter when I was forced to take over the family business after my father was mauled to death by a panda. There was no one else who could have taken it on because all the other members of my family had also been killed by pandas, or other members of the bear family. After 20 years in the job, however, I discovered a tiny cabaret club had opened up behind the shop. It was run by a slightly sinister man with one eyebrow called Mr. Voynich. Now, there are all sorts of rumours about Voynich, that he was a depraved occultist or that he was linked to an extremist wing of the Rotary Club. Some even accused him of being a former estate agent. But whatever he was a generous man, and I'll always be thankful to him for giving me my big break. I started performing in the club, fusing my two great passions, and just like my hero Marcel Marceau, I used to mime great Australian sporting victories to blue-eyed soul music. I was in the middle of miming the 1983 America's Cup win to Would I Lie to You by Charles and Eddie when she walked in. I don't know if it was her walk, her wine-dark eyes, or her frankly violent views on Sunday penalty rates that did it, but she charmed me. It only took a few minutes, but Valentina had already got under my skin. I spent the days and weeks that followed in a kind of love-sick stupor, just walking for miles in the rain, or staring dreamily out the window at the darkening autumn sky, listening to Chaz and Dave. I thought about nothing but her, and I plotted and schemed obsessively about what I could do to win her heart. I resolved to impress her with what I hoped would be my magnum opus, a mime production of the Bodyline bowling affair, starring me as Sir Donald Bradman, me as Douglas Jardine, and with a soundtrack by Hall and Oates. It never occurred to me that Valentina might not understand the rules of cricket. I mean, she didn't even speak English. But I was inspired. I remember I'd just put together the moves to the opening overs of the fateful Adelaide Test to the tune of Rich Girl when I became aware of rumours about paranormal disturbances in the area. Apparently, even the Vatican had become concerned because they said that a portal to hell had been opened in the vicinity of Moorabbin Hungry Jack's, and in turn, local residents had become jittery about house prices. It set the neighbourhood ablaze with hearsay and paranoia, and it was just a downright pain with all those priests poking around in the car park when you just popped in for a chicken whopper. Anyway, it was amidst all this that I was putting the finishing touches on the show. I'd managed, through sign language, to convince Valentina to come along, and I got Mr. Voynich to reserve a place for her right up front. On opening night, as the curtain opened, I found the place full, and the unmistakable bass line of I can't go for that, brackets, no can do, close brackets, started up. But there was an empty table where Valentina should have been, and an uneaten chicken Maryland on it. I immediately walked off stage, never to perform Bodyline, which was just as well because it was a bit shit. A few days later, I got a letter. It might have been in Valentina's handwriting, giving me an explanation, but it was all in Cyrillic, so I couldn't understand a word. I'd heard that in a climate of fear and suspicion, an angry mob may have mistaken Valentina for a witch and burnt her. Maybe not. Maybe she actually was a witch and they correctly identified her as one and then burnt her. I didn't know her very well, and some angry mobs are smarter than others. As for that portal to hell, well, it was merely an as yet undiscovered centre of white magic, which was accidentally revealed when maintenance workers hadn't refitted a manhole cover properly. Stupid, really. Still, I always get the slightest sense of dread and foreboding when I go past Moorabbin Hungry Jack's. If I feel like some nuggets, I usually just push on to Mentone.